Hello and welcome to Gutter Farms. We're back with another episode of Icarus, and today we're going to be doing some upgrades and trying to get the base into a better spot so we can keep upgrading down the tech tree. We have unlocked tier 4 items now. We have a fabrication bench in the base here, and that's been awesome to see, but we don't have the materials to make most of the stuff in here yet. So it was kind of just a little bit of hitting the milestone more so than doing anything with it. But I have found several deep mining nodes out in front of the base here, and so I was like, well, let's go get some more deep mining drills set up. But we don't have any copper. I've used up all of our copper making electronics. I was just cranking through the gold and stuff that we had to get some electronics because everything in tier 4 seems to need them, and now we need copper. But that's not a problem because we have a copper deep mining drill already set up in the first cave that we explored, and we've had that mining drill going for a while now. So we've grabbed a can of biofuel here. We're gonna run out there and swap that out and take a look and see just how much better that is. I've also done a couple of other small upgrades. We now have a bone sickle we can use, so I did unlock that recipe. So if we need more fiber and stuff, we've got that at our disposal. And we've already talked about it, but this hunting rifle is simply amazing, having 6 shots at our disposal. Hopefully we will be much more survivable now. And honestly, I can't remember if we covered this yet or not, but we do have an oxygen tank and a canteen now. These are going to be solid upgrades to allow us to stay out of the base for much longer at a time, which is going to be useful as we go on more and more of these mining expeditions and start going farther and farther from the base. All right, here we are, and let's see what we got. 118. 19. Not too shabby. Let's go ahead and just refill this, activate it. We are going to need a lot more copper than I originally anticipated, given how important it is to making electronics alongside the gold. So this is definitely worth our use of biofuel, at least for me at the moment. So we're going to keep that going, and this should give us enough copper to hopefully get a few more of these miners going for the other nodes that we've got. There's a jaguar. I could probably take him with the bow, but I'd rather not take any risks. We're so close to another level. Oh man, everything over there heard us. And now I've got multiple jaguars coming. Oh goodness. There's a level at least. I don't have to worry about dying. Okay. Did I get them all? Holy buckets, that's a lot of stuff. And in a storm to boot. Oh, and we've got pneumonia. Let me just skin all these and then grab the bones. I wonder what the max level is in Icarus. That's something that I've never figured out. I guess the downside of the gun is everything under the sun can hear us. What the bird? Gosh, that's not cool, bird. Okay. Come on now, people. This is getting ridiculous. I guess I'm suffering here with pneumonia, and I've got an antibiotic tonic I can use. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oh, now I'm taking storm damage. I've been exposed for too long. Okay, let's get into this cave. Where did the cave go? Just in case something tries to come and kill me on the way there. Oh my goodness. So in theory, in the patch that came out, I'm recording this on February 3rd, the weather is supposed to be dialed down now compared to what it was in the previous patch, but obviously this has been quite the storm. So I'll be curious. I think we're supposed to get a break now over the next 3 days before the next major storm comes. I think they were supposed to reduce it so you only get one major weather event every 3 days or something like that. We'll see, we'll see. All right, I think my my storm exposure is lowered enough to come out here. Oh, this Moa's here. What's hunting me down? There's a Komodo. Alright. Look, I just want my bones. I need the epoxy. I'm so glad we made extra ammo before we left the base. I'm never gonna get out of here. I should just leave all these bodies, but I want all the stuff. All right, we have looted all of that stuff. Man, we lost a ton of trees here, and of course there's a jaguar. I'm wasting all the ammo. All right, we'll get this copper going here real quick. Get our biofuel cooking. And we've managed to get 24 copper ingots already, so we're going to go ahead and make one of these. And get this out here. We're going to go set this one up while the rest of those copper ingots cook down. Let's see. In here, do I don't have a full biofuel can yet, but we've got a mostly full biofuel can, so we're going to grab that. And I'm trying to see, what does biofuel need to make? Sticks and tree sap. Let's just put some sticks in there and keep this thing working while we're busy here. Alright, so we are down here near where our dropship is. Base is right up there. And I found this node here, which is actually an aluminum node, which is pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and toss that down here. I'm hearing all kinds of creatures. I don't know if anything's going to actually attack this drill when it's running or not. That's my big concern off the top of my head, but we're going to start this thing up. Oh my goodness, it's loud. Back away from that just a smidge. We're going to start this thing up. We're going to let it run for a minute here. I'm just going to keep an eye on it to see if anything's going to come running up and try and whack it. And worst case scenario, this will be our kind of our test bed. We'll let this thing go for a day and see what happens to it while we're not here. Maybe it'll survive, maybe it won't. If it doesn't, we'll know that I need to build a fortification around it, and I'm sure some of you in the comments that have been playing a little bit longer than I have might have some feedback on the best way to handle those, but we're going to take a shot. We're going to just let it sit out there and do its thing. And aluminum seems like a crazy great resource to get. A lot of the higher tier resources are leveraging that. There's so many monsters around here, especially the crocodiles. Just trying to find our way through. There's another node somewhere around here for sulfur that we can get as well, which is cool. I don't remember exactly where I came across that, but I was running around here for something and came across a sulfur node. So I'm not using as much sulfur yet. There it is. But at some point, this is a key resource. I mean, all the resources are kind of key. So at some point, we may need to come out and tag this sulfur deposit as well. But for now, I'm happy having a second mining drill up and running, getting us some aluminum. And we will monitor that situation. And there's plenty of hostile creatures on this island. So if things go sideways with that, it won't take us too long to figure out if that's going to work or not. And we might as well spend this talent point now that we're back at base. Just looking around here, I think we were going for the critical damage with firearms. Honestly, those critical hits were one-shot killing everything that we were up against here, so we might be done putting points into this for now. The reduced wear rate might be nice at some point, but I'm not too worried about it. I think I'm going to come back over here to the survival tree and maybe just put some more points into this pack lightly so that we can get increased weight capacity. That seems like it could be a cool one. And the next point of that is a full 10%, which seems like it'll be really cool. At some point, these things like running faster in the desert or the Arctic, cold resistance, stuff like that might be really useful as we break out of these biomes. So we may need to do some of these at some point. Ooh, swimming speed might be nice where we are on an island. I could always still build a bridge though, so I don't know if the animals would attack a bridge if we built it, if there was nothing blocking them We'll have to figure that out. And then next up, I want to jump into our tech tree here. And we're going to build the foundations here, the stone frame for base building. I think I'm going to like that a bit more. And then as long as I'm here, I'm going to get the reinforced door. As we're remodeling, I can see ourselves wanting this. And the roof slash ramp is going to be really nice. And we're going to go all out here. We're going to get stairs just because. Why not? And I think that's going to really open up some building options for us so that we can build a little bit nicer looking structure. Some of these other ones may be nice as well. For example, the angled walls, some of this stuff for base building. We may not unlock all of this just yet. There's a few pieces here I think we're going to want, but we're going to leave them there and unlock them as we find a need for them. I really want to get this cart going at some point and figure out how to tame a buffalo. I know I'm going to want it. I'm going to spend the point on it, even though we're not going to do that in this episode. And I do want to unlock flour. I want to start making us flour to use in our cooking recipes. I've been looking at the cooking stuff, and there are some really awesome options, which also leads me into Tier 3, I think we're going to want to pick up a few of these things, such as the biofuel stove. This unlocks some really amazing recipes, and it does require water, so I'm not sure if we're quite ready to set this up or not, but I do want to unlock this because I'm curious to see how this plays out. And so I'm going to get this at some point. I don't know. I'm just unlocking a lot of stuff today without a plan for it. All right. So with all that, we have managed to unlock stone frames. And I've got 8 of them here that we're going to get started with. And I'm just trying to figure out where a good place to start this is. It looks like I don't have to like restart my base. I'll be able to actually work it right into the existing grid, which is going to make doing this upgrade a little bit easier on me, actually. I'm excited for that. So I think what I'm going to do is start out by putting 4 of these across the front. And it does look like they have kind of an odd pattern here. There's a different full frame, half frame, and pillar. Well, what's the point of having built pillars if I can do it this way? I don't understand. And so I've built 8 of them. I'm going to put this down like so. I'm not a big fan of how this looks. I was kind of hoping that this would just replace my flooring and be smooth, but you know, we're probably still going to have to put a floor on top of this to make it look nice. That's all right. But the goal here is to extend this out, replace the area underneath us with full foundations, I think, and just have a really solid setup here. That way things can't get under our base anymore and pop up through the floor, which has been a recurring issue. And I'm going to go ahead and put this here. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do at all. Either way, let's grab this wall so that I can get rid of this windowed wall that I made. I was intending to put a doorway here. Something like that. Let's put some walls down, looking good. Grabbed a little bit of stone here. We're hauling back up into the base so I can make some more floors. I'm curious to see if this floor is going to sit on top of the foundation or not, how that's going to work. So I'm going to grab that. And we're going to test that out before I do too much else. But first, let's put all the stone into the workbench. Oh yeah, that looks good. Works good. So we will still be putting floors down on top of foundations. In that case, do I really need foundations in the middle? I can destroy them without having one in my inventory. Good deal. So yeah, I've got these foundations. I'm kind of trying to think of the best way to utilize them. It seems like kind of a waste to have to put a floor on top of them, but they look kind of janky without the floor. I guess realistically I would be potentially not doing stone floors, but maybe finished wood floors would be better. So let me grab that back up for a minute, and let me see what it would take to make a finished wood floor over in this one. We have the wood flooring available. Yeah, I have an interior wood floors. That might be nice to use for that. It does use copper nails, but 3 insulation from temperature. This is providing 6 insulation from temperature, but so is the stone frame. So if I was using stone frames as my base with some interior wood floors on top, that would probably be the best scenario. Yeah, maybe I'm trying to get too fancy though. Like, I don't really want to get into having to pay points for beams to get to the floors, to get to walls. But it does seem like a lot to spend money on frames to then have to put floors on top of it. Like, that's a lot of iron. I'm kind of curious what others have done. I should go watch some videos on base builds for Icarus. I'm sure some people have had some really cool ideas out there. So I might have to play around with that a little bit. I think for now though, my mindset is just let's use the foundations to get the outsides done, and maybe that'll even just be an area so that I'm not stepping right down onto the ground, and we will continue to do our pillars and floors on the interior here. Alright, let's see if we can at least finish mocking this up here today. Something like this is going to give us a nice big floor print. At some point, I think we're going to get rid of some of these walls, or redo the walls, have a little bit better view here. And I would really love to move our garden plots up onto the floors here somewhere at some point. If I get the floors out, will the floors snap over this and hold? It does look like they will. How do I rotate R? There we go. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Let's see. I would like this to go that way. We're going to point them forward. That seems structurally stable. I'm kind of curious how some of the structure stuff works in Icarus still. I haven't quite figured it all out. We've got tons of iron right now, so I'm making some nails. And with that, we're going to make apparently 4 more floors. We're running out of wood. We've got so many resources that we're running low on. Let's dump all of this meat that I got from our last adventure in here. We might as well be filling up the containers. And oh, it looks like we're actually full up there, so I'm going to grab the lantern into there to get recharged. I should probably go check on that aluminum node here at some point too, make sure that that's working out. So I'm going to grab this biofuel can into my inventory just to hang on to it and go ahead and get them placed. I'm going to put these right here so that we've got a nice even walkway. And then these out here. I don't think that's going to interfere with our gate. Looks like the gate's able to function. And the goal here is to get some floors going. I'm going to have them all face up this way. And I'm just curious if they're going to stay floating in this area, how much support we're going to need. And just real quick, I'm going to get the walls going here. Like I said, I'm going to leave the foundations as an exterior walkway around the base here, and start trying to get a little bit more room here and expand this. I'm going to pick up the windows. I don't find that the windows are actually doing a whole lot for us right now. I'm not sure what's going to happen to this roof if I start knocking things down here, so we're going to try to be a little bit careful. I need a lot more floor pieces, though. And I have these pillars, so we might as well use them. I'm going to put one here and here, just to provide some center of the building support. And of course, this has completely ruined the structural integrity of our base now, so I do need to finish up these floors. We're not even making floors right now. Oh my goodness. We need a bunch more stone now to finish up the floors. Well, lucky for us, there's about 1 million piles of stone around us. There's just also 1 million crocodiles around us. Nope, that crocodile is angry. Hopefully, he can't make his way up here. Oh, he's making his way up here, isn't he? Oh, and our base is structurally in trouble. Oh, this is a disaster. Alright, you work on that. We have to go deal with this before something bad happens. Yikes! Follow me. It's always something here. Alright, let's get this floor in. Alright, we're going to box that back in. I put the wall in. We took out our door temporarily because that's going to allow us to have shelter in here again and not risk our machines getting broke. We have got a good foundation going on around the base here. I'm going to continue working on getting some supplies here. And we're going to build this out and hopefully turn it into something that looks a little bit nicer than a box over the course of the next little bit here. However, we have done enough goofing around in the base. I want to make one more run out here. We want to check on that aluminum drill and make sure that we're collecting resources. We're not running into any unexpected problems out here. I can see the drill's still there, so that gives me confidence, hope that things are working. And if we run out here and check on the fuel level, it'll also give me a feel for how fast this thing is going. We're making a good progress, 28. We've got a bit of fuel. I'm going to swap the cans out so that we can make sure we're being efficient with our biofuel composter as long as we got a ton of materials sitting in there. I'm not so worried. I need to stop processing meat probably and start figuring out how to do animal fat. I forget which workbench you can do the animal fat at. However, I was reading up on cooking, and it seems like that's what I should be doing with my raw meat rather than using it for biofuel, since I can just use sticks to do biofuel. So at some point here, we're going to have to figure that out. I think that's one of the things made at the cooking station, which is a bench that I don't believe I built. Like, we built the kitchen bench, but not the kitchen cooking station. Yeah. Let's see, that's probably in here. We need stone and iron. Let's do that real quick. I'm kind of curious to see what that takes. And going back into the realm of we don't have room for anything, I'm going to put this right on the back of the fabrication bench here. And yeah, there we go. We've got all of these things, so I can turn these other things into raw meat to then use in some of these other recipes. And these recipes are better than some of the straight up things that I've been doing, but cream corn, animal fat. Yeah, so I can turn the animal meat or the raw meat into animal fat. And then that animal fat's going to get used in a bunch of other recipes. So let's go ahead and I think grab back all of this. I'm going to put that in there to start charging up, and we can do all that with sticks now, so I'm not too worried about the biofuel. And in here, let's see what maxing out the animal fat is going to look like. Sweet. Animal fat doesn't actually expire here either, so that's going to be a super good resource. We can do that. So we now got a biofuel process that works. We've got something to do with this raw meat before it spoils, because it felt like kind of a waste before. And we'll just keep trucking on this stuff. We're going to start making some more of these advanced recipes here very soon. I've been doing my research on cooking and farming, and part of wanting to expand the base is to have some room to do all that good stuff. We've got a little further to go here. Lots of resources. This is a lot more resource intensive than I was expecting. So we're going to have to do a little bit more resource gathering off camera here, get a bunch of stone and wood to finish out this base. And then once we've got this structure kind of figured out and a little bit better area set up for all of our workbenches and stuff, we're going to move these garden plots up onto some foundations and, yeah, maybe move this wall out a bit. It's feeling a little cramped in here now all of a sudden, but I'm digging the new base setup, and honestly, we might not even need this wall once we get the better base setup. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I might just line it right along here, maybe try to shorten it down into the ground some. I don't know. There's a lot of options, but we're going to keep playing around with some of the different building structures and stuff, see if we can get into building a much more beautiful base here over the next few episodes and expanding our workshop areas so that it's not quite such a mess and we can get a lot more done without having to run around and be constantly claustrophobic in this little house. I'd love to have a little bit more room, a little bit more light, and see how things go. But we figured out how the mining drills work. That's been super exciting. We've got a lot of good resources coming in, and I feel like we've got a really sustainable setup now. The only thing missing is I would feel more comfortable if I had a iron deep mining node that we could get an infinite supply of iron from. That is the one thing that I think we need to make sure that I can, with confidence, keep using this wonderful hunting rifle to keep ourselves defended. And yeah, one more episode. We've gotten another level, and I didn't die this time. So, woo! If we keep up this pace at a level per episode, we're going to get there in no time. Thanks for watching, everybody. That's all for today. Kedrick out.